friends, and welcome to the first ever episode of my new series, What the Fibre? This series is focusing on the different fiber types used to make textiles, specifically fabric used in clothing and other garments. The series is educational. I hope that it will help other seamstresses and other designers, and I also hope that it will help those who are shopping for ready-made garments to make informed choices. I realized there was a need for this sort of thing, mostly because of all of the misinformation that I see flying around all over the place, but also because from talking to people, I find that a lot of people aren't even really sure what a fiber type is. The best example I can think of is when I ask a client what fiber type something is, and I get satin as the answer. Satin is a weave, not a fiber. Although I also grew up thinking that silk and satin were mutually exclusive, so absolutely no judgment to anyone similarly misinformed. Just as cotton, which is a fiber type, can be used to make many things, from heavy canvas to light gauze, satin, which is a weave, can be made out of many things. The two most common forms of satin are silk and polyester, but it can also be made of everything from nylon to even cotton. Although cotton satin weaves are usually referred to as sateens because language is fake and we are all just making everything up as we go along. And then you get into things like stretch sateens, which also include some elastomer fibers such as spandex, and then you get polycotton blend sateens, and I am already getting into a rabbit hole. The point is, I should probably do another video on weaves and knits and things like that. But broadly speaking, a fabric is a raw material, the fiber, and a thing you have done with it, the weave, the knit, the other kind of network. So what is a fiber, and why does it matter? The Wikipedia article for fiber starts with the following quote from Textiles by Sarah Cadolf. Fiber is a natural or man-made substance that is significantly longer than it is wide. Well, that narrows it down. What it comes down to is that fiber is the stuff, and wherever it comes from, it gets processed and spun into yarn or thread and then woven or knitted. Although sometimes it doesn't get woven or knitted and it gets felted instead. Or then other times it comes with its own matrix already. Like leather, you don't spin or knit or weave leather, it just is there. But most of the time it goes from stuff to string, and then you make something out of the string. Fibers come from many sources, from plant stalks and leaves, to seed pod fluffs, to animal hair, to worm cocoons, to long filaments extruded from petrochemicals. But no matter where these fibers come from, they can be broadly organized into three main categories. Cellulose, which is plant fiber, so things like cotton, linen, hemp, but also all kinds of things from nettles to coconuts. Synthetics, which are man-made materials, most notably polyester and nylon, although also elastomers such as spandex, and several other smaller subcategories. And lastly, protein, which is mostly animal hair, so wool, cashmere, angora, alpaca, and the others, but also including leather, fur, and even feathers. Because textiles is a land of outliers, there are also semi-synthetics, such as rayon and its whole family. These are fibers extruded from plant fiber that has basically been condensed down into cellulose jelly and then reconstituted out into a spinnable fiber. Most bamboo fibers fall under this category, although most rayons that don't specify that they're bamboo are made from wood pulp. And then we have weird things like silk, which has properties of both a cellulose and of a protein. And things like nylon, which is absolutely synthetic, but takes dye like a protein because chemistry is fascinating. Which brings me to why all this matters. When choosing a fiber type, either for your own sewing projects, larger manufacture, or even just buying a ready-made garment, either new or used, all of these properties matter. The original source matters when considering environmental impact, whether that's agriculture and land use, the petrochemical industry, or the raising of animals. What processing is required brings up questions of energy use, water use, environmental contamination, and worker safety. Different fiber types require very different processes and types of dyes. So dyeing again brings up water, energy, contaminants, worker safety, as well as considering the sources of the dyestuffs themselves. When creating a fabric, the suitability of each fiber type for the weight and the weave must be taken into account. Then, once the fabric is finished, the fiber type does still affect several things. Fabric movement, visual sheen and texture, thermal properties, and breathability are all main concerns, but durability, tensile strength, color fastness, possible shrinkage, ease of care, and cost per garment are all important factors as well. Once a garment is made, the fiber content affects how comfortable and even how healthy it is to wear, as well as how easy it is to clean and what effects that cleaning can have. There is at least one laundry rant waiting to happen, as well as how long it will last. How long it will last brings us to our final point, which I think is what people are most aware of when it comes to textile waste. What happens when that garment reaches the end of its lifespan? Can it be recycled? Will it decompose? Will it be here forever to greet the space archaeologists when they arrive to discover the ruins? I'm jealous of the space archaeologists. Textile finds in the archaeological record are extremely exciting. On that note, I hope this was an informative intro, and I'll be back soon with episode 1, Cotton, about which there is so much to say, and we'll move through the major players from original source, processing, dyeing, usage, wear, care, and post-use options for each, as well as delving into any specific concerns for each option and doing a little bit of a compare and contrast. After that, we'll get a little weird with it. We can cover some more obscure options like milk fabric, which is a thing, spider silk, mushroom leather, and whatever else our weird, curious little hearts want to know about. If you like this project and would like to see more of it, please subscribe, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon, where I get up to all sorts of nonsense. Liking, sharing, commenting, telling your friends, following me on Instagram, liking my Facebook are also all very helpful things to do. I would appreciate it a lot. There are links to all the things and more down in the doobly-doo. Until then, stay curious, and may your bobbins never tangle.